Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back once again to Rogues Gallery Live. Like I said, this is Rogues Gallery Live. I'm Chris the Batman Statue Collector, and we are here with episode 163. We have a really great show because we have Chad from Tweeterhead once again joining us tonight. How's it going, sir?
It's going great. How about you guys?
Doing great. It's always nice to have you on the show, and we're really excited to hear some news tonight. We're just gonna get to it, so it'll be a lot of fun. We also have this guy. He is in Rocket City. Will we hear a major explosion again like the other night? Because that was awesome. Like, that was crazy. But anyway, we got Mr. Dan Default from Wayne Manor, Rocket City, in the house.
Yes, the camera could shake tonight.
That's right. I bet so. That's right. This dude right here is from the Secret Sanctuary, and I see that. Oh my God! I guess something finally shipped. Do I see Frankenstein in the shot?
He's there. Yep. He's pretty cool too.
Did he just arrive today?
He did.
That's fantastic. I know a lot of people have been looking forward to that review, so I'm assuming that'll be up tomorrow.
It'll be up tonight.
Oh, it'll be up tonight. All right, you'll be on it. That's fantastic. We also have Mr. Christmas Tree himself, Mr. Eric B. in the house. How's it going, sir?
Doing good. Hey, everybody. That
Nice.
piece is looking good, Jeff. He looks like he's pretty large.
Yeah, he's very bulky for 1/5.
Yeah.
I'm going to say he looks good. I think a lot of people are going to love that one. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Congratulations on and getting it. I'm really excited. So we also have Mr. Billy Rios in the house. How's it going, sir?
Doing well. Just had a little conversation with the Todd father, and he says that Iron Man is shipping in 7 days.
Nice.
All right. Great news for a lot of Legendary Beast collectors. That's fantastic. So, man, I know a lot of people have been waiting for that one. So that's exciting. Congratulations. We have Mr. JWR in the house. How's it going, sir?
I'm good. Want to say hey everybody in the chat, in the group. I'm happy Chad's here. Can't wait to hear what exciting news he has for us tonight.
Absolutely. And last but not least, we have Mr. Matt Martin from the Bat Vault. How's it going, sir?
Doing good. Looking forward to seeing Mr. Freeze tonight. So that'll be awesome.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know if anybody saw over my shoulder here, but we've got some really cool stuff back here. We've got the painted prototype for Mr. Freeze. Obviously, this is on our crappy webcam here, but I'm going to be doing a full review, so that should be up tomorrow on the channel so you guys can see it in full detail. Also, Chad was nice enough to send these amazing pieces, and I don't know if they're prototypes or production samples, but they are polystone, they are resin, and they are absolutely fantastic. We've got the black suit Batman and also the lighter blue classic Batman. That is, let's just get into that. Tell us a little bit about these, because I think that they are going to be going up for pre-order very, very soon.
Yeah, tomorrow at 9:00 in the morning, Mr. Freeze bust goes up. Both Batman go up. The blue and gray, the retro version, that goes up at sideshow.com, and that'll be quarter scale and 6 scale.
So a little breaking news tonight. We got quarter scale in the blue. That's really great.
Yeah, quarter scale and 6 scale. And I teased it in a newsletter, but of course, I think by February, actually maybe Christmas, we're going to show her as a little Christmas gift the purple suit Catwoman that kind of goes with that Batman.
Cool.
Yeah. And that's
awesome.
A brand new torso, brand new head, brand new hair, exposed hair, I should say. And it's fantastic. The two of them together are really good. But yeah, tomorrow is kind of like a big release. Everything's super limited. The Batman, the blue and gray is open edition, but the black version is only 100 pieces, and the Freeze is only 200 pieces.
Wow.
Wow.
And Freeze is $300 like all the rest of the busts.
Cool.
And I got to tell you guys, so I opened this box today, and I'm blown away. Like, it is fantastic. And I was talking to Chad because obviously with Mr. Freeze, we've had the conversation about throughout the process of what colors do you make Mr. Freeze, because he's represented in so many different ways over the years. and what looks right, what doesn't look right. And I got to tell you guys, this thing looks fantastic. Like the colors, there's different color blues. The lighter blues are like this really great metallic. It's got a glass dome on it. And so, and I mean, you could see how well it pairs with Batman, just side by side. It just this lineup is going to be incredible when it's all said and done. So, anyway, I can't wait to review it again. Chad, thanks for letting me have the opportunity to show this to the audience and the collecting community. Just again, you've been so incredibly kind to this channel, and I can't thank you enough for that. So again. Yeah. So again, we got a lot of news to talk about tonight. Godlike Statue says we need that clay face bust. I know it's in the works. I know it is. I know a lot of people are excited about that.
It's close. Clayface is close. Catwoman's done. I've got her head over there. I could grab it and show you. Catwoman is done. Riddler's done. Phantasm is done. I don't know who else, but there's a couple more coming. So, but I'm telling you, jump on this bust line because when it's over, when they're gone, they're gone, and that's kind of what we're going to talk about in a little bit, right, Chris? But
yep, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I love it. I know a lot of people have said, they want Mr. Freeze to have legs, blah blah blah. But for me, with less space, less shelf space, less footprint, for me, that Mr. Freeze is perfect. It's a perfect example of what that character embodies, right? You don't need legs or a frozen base, in my opinion.
I agree. It's just, again, we've talked about the concept of the bus, and I love the idea. These things, I can't wait for collectors to get them because I don't think collectors really truly understand. Like even when I've already had Batman. This is the third time I've had this Batman in here. I had the unpainted prototype. I've had the painted prototype. And then again here today. And even today when I opened up the box, actually I opened up yesterday. I'm like, wow, this thing is so big. Like it is so cool because, and I think once collectors really start getting them, they're going to be like, holy crap, I need to jump on this, especially again at that $300 price point, which is just unbelievable in today's market. And again, the low ES,
275 if you pay up front.
Oh, that's right. So yeah, if you pay up front, 275. So I mean, where else are you going to get that kind of deal for a third scale? I mean, that's just insane. It just really is.
Yeah. I mean, they, like I said, a lot of them share the same bases, which makes the cost much more effective. And you're dealing with half of the character, that makes it much more cost effective. But just looking at him over your shoulder, and I know a couple of you guys have seen him during the painted stages, but I mean, the first time I showed it to Chris, and this was months and months ago, it were like I love how Chris won't say I don't like it. He's like, you'll say you like one aspect of it, and I'm like, oh god, that means he hates the rest of it.
That doesn't sound like me at all. What are you talking about?
Yeah, he's like, I like the goggles. So then we go back, but we went. I mean, you would think Mr. Freeze would be like a super easy paint job, right? I mean, this is like the fourth paint job of him. Like it took so many iterations, and that bright blue on his belt and those little things here and they're supposed to be like a little radar, or not a radar, like a little register of how cold it is inside that suit. The same thing on the gun, but I mean, I think we went through probably 5 different blues, and then we went back to the first one we used. Yeah, because I think the first one and to be fair, the very first render you showed me, I loved. By the way, the only critique I had was that I thought his the render or the original drawing, he looked a little bit more like mad, and you guys tweaked that like you did. Like it looks fantastic. I love it. There's nothing not to like about this piece. Well,
I love it.
Also, I've got this weird thing about symmetry, and I always wanted his head to be straight up and down. And it was Chris that said, no. In the drawing that you showed, the concept, his head's turned down, and it just looks more sinister, like he's looking over his shoulder a little bit.
It's just that
it
hunch.
really didn't change everything.
It really does. It's just that little bit of a hunch that just makes him. I mean, and it just makes him look more evil. And I'm so glad that you stuck with the concept because it's just really well done. And again, I can't wait to show it off to everybody in high def 4K tomorrow.
But you're right, and this leads into like some really good news. Like, if people were holding Superman right now, they would be like, I think they'd be on board for the bus for eternity and beyond. But the good news is 3 containers on the water, and the first one gets here the 24th. It gets to Oakland, the port of Oakland, on the 24th. So I don't know, what is that, next Monday
Yeah.
or Sunday?
Yeah.
Monday.
Sunday or Monday. So we've been really behind in getting stuff delivered, but by like the second week in January, we will be so up to date. We will be like Santa delivering Tweeterhead Christmas gifts to everybody.
Yep.
And at that point, I think people will be like happy again, on board. But you know, it doesn't slow the bus train down because we have so many in the pipeline, right? And this freeze, like, I just wanted to get them out. I thought putting them up tomorrow in the wintertime was kind of fun.
Yeah.
But those will be that's DC for the rest of this year. So there won't be anything for the rest of the year.
All right. Dark. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, and I was just going to say something. I don't know if he's. Can you see if Brandon's here or not? Can you see if he's on?
Let's see. I haven't seen him pop on yet, but I'll keep an eye out for him.
So he had mentioned to me today, he's like, I don't know about all these variants. I think people hate variants. And really, these are straight up paint, repaints. Except the retro, actually, no, they're not. Those have brand new torsos and brand new utility belts. So those aren't like the first two that we released. The belts are the capsules, and it's got, the oval.
Oh,
of
yeah.
course.
Yeah.
But he said he feels like a lot of collectors they're not super happy with variants. And I feel like with Batman, you always expect at least one variant, right? We've done, this will be 4. But like, how do you guys feel about variants? I just wanted to open that up.
I think they're a lot of fun. I think where people get mad is when, like, let's say you put one up for pre-order and then 7 months later you put the next one up for pre-order. I think that sometimes can piss people off. But I know it's not always logistically, easy to do that always. But I think that just from my side of things, that's kind of what I see. What about the rest of you guys?
For me, sometimes it might come down to the color. Like, so if you release the second one and I like that one better, I'm like, damn, I already purchased the first one. And then the other thing would be, I guess, the collectability of it. Like, if there's only like 100 of the first one, you think you have something a little bit more, I guess rarer, if you want to use that word. And then all of a sudden now there's like a re-release. Like, I don't know. It really depends if the thing sells out. These days, it doesn't really seem like things sell out too quickly.
Yeah.
And I think what we're going to do is, I think, like, and this, Brandon actually came up with this, is like, I think when we show like that first Batman, we're going to like, if there's a variant in the future, we're going to just show you what it looks like, so that it's all the cards are on the table.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I think that's awesome. I mean, that's going to make fans very happy, I think.
I think that's the way it should go, Chad. Like, if you're familiar with Mondo prints, like they're like these posters, they put up the regular and the variant on the same day at the same time. And let's just say that the regular has an ES of 300 and the variant has an ES of 150. It kind of makes it like, well, if you want that variant, and sometimes they're not that much different, usually like a little color tone or something like that, those variants sometimes, especially like the bottleneck stuff, even, they go within a matter of minutes from when they're put up. And then there'll be the regular edition, and sometimes there's a timed edition where that timed edition will be on sale for 2 days or something like that. And whatever it ends at 2 days, however orders they got, that's the ES, But those variants are put up at the same time, because in the statue game, every variant that I've ever seen come out after the originals put out has been met with negativity. I mean, you're going to have some people happy, but a lot of people are going to meet it with negativity. It's just like, oh, yeah, thanks, But, that's just how it goes. If you didn't buy either one and then all of a sudden you get this one, then you usually tend to jump on it. But if you have the first one, it's always met with negativity.
Well, and it goes, and we're going to get to this in a bit, but it does go with, there's some issues with cancellations and things like that. And so we're going to be talking about that in depth here in just a little bit. Anybody else want to speak on the variants? What you guys feel about them?
I'm excited for the retro Batman in 1/4. I think that's an awesome looking statue. And I think you could have that one and the black and gray one, and you would be perfectly fine having both of those in your collection, because they represent 2 different eras of Batman comic books. So you would be fine having both in your collection.
Absolutely. Anybody else?
I think the main concern is people want the ability, if there is a variant that's revealed much later, to transfer their NRD to that new one if they like it better. So it's frustrating if they're not able to do that.
But again, if we're seeing both of them at the same time, that eliminates that, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Which is a fantastic thing, I think.
I'd go a step further, Chad. I don't know if you guys have considered, where you're talking about being so upfront about the variants and what your plans are. Maybe take it a step further and offer incentives to collect them all, right? Rather than kind of assuming people are just going to pick one. Let them pick them all. Here's an incentive to buy all three or whatever.
So what would that look like as a customer? Like, what would that look like to you? Like, what would incentivize you to buy all of them, do you think?
Discount?
Well,
Yeah,
A discount.
Discount, like a reward points or something along those lines, something
I
that
would
gives
say
back to the consumer.
I would say, Dan might be onto something here, because let's say, with respect, I'm doing it for me first. I'm going to get the classic Batman, but I know, hey, Christmas or somebody's birthday is around the corner, or one of my friends might like it. Oh, well, if I can get hypothetically X amount off of the variant, if I order that one too, and I can gift the variant to somebody else, type thing like that. So yeah.
Again, I think there's lots of different things that maybe the community could come up with, like, what would they want to see in terms of like a rewards or a discount or something like that.
No, I think it's a great idea. Or do like kind of like a bundle, right? You buy all four, get it for X.
Exactly.
Or you buy two and you get it for X. No, I think that's a great idea.
Chad,
Prime One, I was just going to say Prime One does that. Like if you like buy one of the ones that are paired together, if you buy both of them at the same time, they give you a discount. Because a
little something. But Chad, the other thing that comes to mind is where they are so price friendly, just in general, at least relatively speaking. What about a collect them all incentive where you collect them all, and at the end of the year, you get a piece that nobody else has access to?
Oh, that'd be cool.
That's good, but I'll be honest, from like, especially with the way things are now, like, the sales are so low for some editions that like the collect them all might be like 20 pieces, and then God forbid, like, what am I going to invest?
Okay.
A couple things I want to get caught up on real quick because we skipped over them. The Dark Collector did a $1.99 super chat, so thank you very much. Again, thank you guys for the super chats. Jim Balin, purple suit Catwoman is my number one. So I think you have a buyer right here for your purple Catwoman, so that's exciting. So thank you very much for the super chat. Foxhound, I also wanted to address this. He said Prime 1/3 scale busts are 250. It's not anything new. Hope you can acknowledge this. Foxhound, I don't think these compare at all compared to the Prime 1 bust. The Prime 1 busts are really just head sculpt holders is really what they are. I think that's a nice term, really. They're just like a little tiny V-shape thing with the head. Now there is some artistry to them, like the Heath Ledger Joker one was cool. It had like black ha-has on it and stuff like that. But like these are like big third scale, like half full bodies, like and that's not something Prime 1's done for that price point. I think if Prime 1 did something like this, you would be probably talking at least $600-700 at least. Or something along that line. And that's probably being kind.
They're also reusing, like you said, it's more of like a headstand. So they're reusing the sculpt from the full figure body.
Yeah. So, that's just me. I disagree with that comment. I don't think they're alike at all, really. Although they are third scale, that is true. I just don't think there's any comparison. And you guys know how much I love Prime 1, but they're basically they're headstands.
They're
headstands.
Yeah.
That's what they are. Anybody else want to comment about variants?
So the two that are behind you are two completely new ones. Then the last, there was already two. So now there's another two, like for a total of four.
So the ones behind Chris. So we did the kind of like, if you will, like the Hush Batman, and then the black and gray Batman, which was basically a variant of that with two different heads. The one behind Chris, they only have the long ears and they have a brand new torso and a brand new utility belt.
See, like colors usually don't bother me. So, like if I'm like, for example, I like the black costume on Batman. So if you release that first or didn't release it at all, I would obviously pass on the blue and wait until like a black one came out. So I'm not really, doesn't really matter to me like if different colors come out. But now if they come out and they look very similar, that might bother me a little bit. To where I don't know, I haven't seen those yet in the background, so I'm not really sure what the differences are. Other than you said the utility belt and then the ears, right?
Well, the whole torso, it's the same torso. It just has the oval logo on it.
Oh, okay.
And it's fully
I
sculpted.
don't think that would really
It's not
bother
just
me.
a decal or something.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
But
if
I
I don't
think
think that would bother me.
Yeah.
I think as a maker also, like, Batman is one of those things like, you know, it's like you have to do another version. You know what I mean? It's just like, there's so many versions of him that you can take advantage of. And I just being perfectly honest. But, you know, for me, like my Batman has always been the one behind Chris in the blue and gray, like with the, you know, oval logo.
Yeah. It's classic. I call this the Jeff Morris Batman.
Yeah.
Because that's the one he loves. He loves that Batman also. Real quick, Derek, he wants to know about the Freeze pre-order. It's going up tomorrow. And is that is that only available at Tweeterhead?
Yeah.
Yep, only available at Tweeterhead. So
all
again,
the busts are the only thing that will. Oh, well, I shouldn't say that because the Black Batman, it's only 100 pieces, but the bust will always only be available at Tweeterhead, and that really is like, that's my kind of jam at the moment. I love those busts. I mean, if you could see like the 5 that are in progress, you'd lose your mind. Like,
and again, you've been kind enough to share behind the scenes with me, and I can't wait for everybody to see this stuff because it's just so exciting, especially once you get like, I mean, imagine like I scoot back and there's like 10 villains all here set up next to each other, and like you can use like different risers if you want to very easily to like group them. It's not going to take up a lot of room on the shelf, and that's the thing is like my old setup, like I have trouble doing that with the premium formats, but my old setup was Batman with the villains. I can absolutely do that with these. I can have Batman in the middle and all these rogues in different heights just all around Batman. It's going to be phenomenal. I can't wait. Cannot wait.
Yeah, and there's like there are a couple more.
Not sure what just happened there. I don't know if somebody ate a microphone, but let me test. 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 All right, that's Matt's. Something happened there.
I think his mic fell over.
Yeah.
Me?
Yep.
Good.
Test. All right,
Good.
I think we're back. I think we're back to good. Okay.
Okay.
Somebody just asked about the black variant. No, the black variant is 1/6 at tweeterhead.com. The blue variant will be at Tweeterhead and Sideshow in quarter scale and 6 scale. But only quarter scale and Sideshow.
Blue. Nope, it's so confusing. It's more confusing than the variant. The blue and gray, the retro one, will be only at Sideshow. Totally.
Okay,
Sideshow.
only at Sideshow in both scales though.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, but this one, the limited to 100.
Only Tweeterhead. Yeah.
Only Tweeterhead in 6 scale. Okay.
Gotcha.
Okay.
All right, cool.
I gotta give a shout out. 198 people right now watching, guys. Thank you so very much for being here and hanging out with Chad and us tonight. This is awesome. Please hit the like button. It helps other people find the content. I can't thank you guys enough for being here. Real quick question from the panel or from Chad. When can we expect Doomsday to ship? Any update on that one?
Oh God. To ship, that's the question of the hour, right? So we've got 3 containers on the way here now, and he probably will ship end of January. But you know, to be honest, that Chinese New Year is coming up fast this year. So the only thing that I cannot, you know, anything within my reach I can tell you about, but when it comes to getting these containers and getting stuff on the water, that's the only thing where I get into hot water if I promise something and can't deliver. So, you know, I don't know if the person heard at the beginning of the show, but you've got one of the first of 3 containers will be here next week. And it just is, it's a process. I mean, it's a process that we all, not just makers of statues or collectibles, but makers of anything coming over. It's just a process that we're dealing with right now, is trying to get a container, get that thing on the water, just the logistics are kind of crazy at the moment.
Real quick question about Purple Catwoman. Scale on her. Will she only be 1/6 at Tweeterhead?
You know what? That I don't know. I can't say yes or no yet. I mean, obviously, if I had my perfect dream, it would be quarter scale and 6 scale. But of course, my Sideshow distributes the quarter scale, and at the moment I can't speak for it. But it's something that she looks really fantastic. So I don't know. I mean, I would say 90% yes on both.
Okay. So we'll keep you guys updated as we get information. Of course, anything I find out from Chad, I'll try to share with you guys here on the channel and get it out to you guys so you can make a good decision for yourself.
And if we can do it, so she's being painted right now. I think so. I know we have a big Thanksgiving thing with Chris that's going to be revealed. Maybe we do like a Christmas. We show her Christmas Day.
That'd be all right. I'm in. Yeah, just to tease you guys again. Yeah, I'd say that'd be a lot of fun. And like Chad said, we're gonna make a big announcement on Thanksgiving, which I'm very excited to be able to bring you guys. And again, I want to thank Chad for the opportunity because it's going to be really exciting for a lot of collectors out there, and change the game. And so I'm looking forward to that. And so stay tuned to that, and maybe Christmas too. We'll have a little Catwoman with a bow. That'll be all right. That'll be all right.
So I'm a little concerned about Will C's post in the
best.
chat.
If we can't get a.
Sorry, there's sometimes we get a little delay with Chad, so I'm not sure. Go ahead, Delaney.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, what was it?
Yeah.
So Will C in the chat posted that he's already ordered Mr. Freeze, which has me a little concerned that. You remember I messaged you yesterday, Chad, about a little problem with the website. I'm worried that he may have inadvertently ordered the Batman bust, thinking that he ordered Mr. Freeze.
No, that was a technical difficulty, which means I screwed up. I was trying to make the Mr. Freeze page, and what I did is instead of hitting save draft, I publish. And when we start to put the page together, I usually this always gets me in so much trouble. It has in my entire career. Copy and paste. Do never, ever copy and paste. I used to, when I was in venture capital and I was a head of office management and I was helping out the assistants, every now and then I would do for one of the big executives their itinerary for their travel. And I would also take the previous one and I just copy and paste it and fill in what I needed to fill in. Right. And all the confirmation numbers were wrong. Everything was totally wrong. I got in so much trouble all the time. But so, yeah, that was my fault. And it was so late last night when you text or you sent me that Facebook message and then somebody else is like, I just got Mr. Freeze, but it's a picture of the sorceress and the description's Batman, but the price is right. So no, he's fine. It's fine. He's the first customer, which is great.
I was going to say, yeah.
It thrilled me that somebody was searching out Mr. Freeze last night at 8 o'clock at night,
For sure.
That's awesome. So thank you for providing that information. And so again, everybody can order it officially tomorrow, which is great. And again, that's right. And again, low edition on that. What'd you say? 200?
200 pieces. Yeah.
Yeah. 200 pieces.
Yeah, I mean, and this is something also, which I think you guys understand, but I wish, I want everyone to understand is we all talk about creating these lines of characters, and it's great when you start off, but when you get to the 6th or 8th or 10th character and somebody comes on board and they want to get them all, but they can't, the numbers just organically go down drastically. So a lot of people talk about my 66 Batman line. And by the time I got to Penguin, I was selling maybe 150. When I put my Catwoman up and Batman, it was 800, 750. But when somebody finally comes on board and they go to try to find those pieces and they can't, it just, the longer the line goes on, the less, quantity you're going to sell. So I'm trying to now pivot from that and be everything's going to be 250 and hopefully create a little bust family, right? Of people that just, and this brings me to another gigantic question. Because as we go into next year, and as the entire, everything that has to do with the economy is changing or is going to be changing in different ways. But I've wrestled with something for probably 10 years. And it's do we do a Prime one and just show you everything for the whole year and say this is what we hope to release? No promises, because my line list is always 20 characters and we release 12 maximum a year. Do we play all of our cards in January? And the fear of that is, what if you're like, I don't need any of those, so I don't need to buy any of Tweeterhead stuff? Or do we every quarter show you the quarter? Like, next year is going to be a really pivotal year for a lot of companies, I think.
Well, you kind of did that when you first introduced the bus. You showed us like you know, all the Trinity pieces, and then I think like 2, 3. You said you were going to do about 5 a year, so you did kind of almost do that. Yeah.
I'm talking more like every Masters character, every DC character, every IP. Do we do like a showcase where we show you everything? And you know, as fun as that sounds, for me as a business owner, it's super risky, because what if you don't like any of it? You know, like what do I do with that?
I agree with Daniel. I think I like the idea more of every quarter. I think that I think, you know, keeping some things close to the vest, because I also feel like if you let's say you showed 12 pieces and somebody liked 5 of them, let's say, or maybe 2 of them, you know, it's still a customer. That's still a good thing. But at the same time, where's that excitement buzz the rest of the year? You know what I mean? Like there's maybe nothing to look forward to. Maybe everything falls flat after that. You get excited for that month, and then, you know, the 11 months after, you're like, oh, you know, we already know what Tweeterhead's doing. There's not really anything excited to get it, you know, until it comes in. I think by quarter might be maybe the better way to go.
Also, because you are so transparent with us and, you know, everybody watching, I think we all pretty much know that you know, you're a collector yourself. You love doing these characters and you want to do as many characters as possible. So I think, you know, hopefully we'll get to see as many characters as there are, compared to like other companies that might be more of like trying to run it more of like a business wise. Yeah.
What about the rest of you guys?
I like the quarter. I think that will keep Tweeterhead's name in everybody's mind. It'll keep the buzz going for the upcoming statues and busts that you're going to do. So I would say every quarter, just do a little tease video. If you have stuff that's already painted, show it. But I like the quarter idea instead of just first of the year, here's everything that's coming out.
Clint says, of course, there are people like me who have bad memories and will forget what you showed at the beginning of the year and get excited later on. You know, you brought up Prime 1. I think Prime 1's next level events have become events.
Yeah.
You know, we have, and I don't know if I was the first one to do it. There might have been others. I don't know, but like where we did a reaction to the actual stream, you know, and now, you know, everybody does it. And it's become a thing. It's like become this big event, this big hangout. You know, you could do the same thing, you know, where you know, have this, you know, big reveal of things that are coming out and make it special. And again, it continues there. Like it's like somebody just said, every 3 months or so, giving somebody else that excitement again. Like, oh, here's what Tweeterhead has up their sleeve, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
There's an opportunity.
you kind of got to remember that when they have these events and they show something, it's not a guarantee that it goes up for PO that year.
Yeah.
You know, there's, you know, it could trick. It just tells you, hey, this could be coming, or this is in the works, I guess, you know. And then, I mean, there's stuff that we saw at Next Level events 4 shows ago that either got scrapped and we didn't hear about it, or, I mean, I think the first time we saw the Hush 1/4 pieces, they also did the Penguin and the Triumphant that night. And those pieces just recently went up for PO, and the other ones have been out for years, for at least almost 2 years now. So, you know, I think
I will say
thing is better.
that Catwoman, Batman, and Phantasm Diehl they showed, but I don't think that's ever come out, correct?
It has not.
Nope.
How long ago was that?
I have been told by their creative director that nothing's scrapped. Everything is just on hold until the movies start doing better. Again, I don't know. We did see obviously a Mr. Freeze and a Riddler in 3rd scale tease. So I think that they're going to start trying again a little bit. But you know, it is what it is, I guess.
I think the part for me, just as like you said, as a collector, is the part where it's like, you know, and also as a creator is like, you know, you guys have seen my Riddler a concept on my Riddler bust, but then it's like, okay, there's like no Riddlers it's like a desert, right? No Riddlers anywhere. Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, there's like 3 Riddlers, and they just like cannibalize each other, right?
Yeah.
Like Sideshow just showed theirs, and then Prime One's like pops out right after, and I think that's something like we got to kind of work on a little bit. Is just all we're doing is just like cannibalizing each other with these pieces, and it's like I all say may the best statue win, blah blah blah, but going back to the whole variant discussion is what if you already ordered this one
Yeah.
and then this one gets shown and it's just even a little tease and you're like, oh my gosh, like I love that. That's so cool. So hopefully in the future we can figure out like a timeline of like, and that's why I always say, let's all play together. Let's all be nice. Let's all help each other out. Like,
That's right.
what are you making next year? What am I making next year? Okay, I'll take that. I mean, I had this great thing with Sideshow with when I did my first Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman and they were working on their Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman, and we had this great discussion about when should that one come out, who's is closest to getting done, when should that be released, if we pull this one back, blah blah blah. And I wish there was like I wish there was something like this, and it was Prime One, me, Sideshow, blah blah blah, PCS. And we all just had this really open discussion about, hey, we all share this license. Why don't we all try to work together? And, and I think that would bring the community back together. Like if we weren't, on top of each other all the time,
The thing is, like, we need to make it happen. I think we can. Like, I talk to all these different companies. Like, I think that's something we could do is bring everybody together, because it just, I know that everybody wants the license. I know everybody wants to get their stuff out first, but like, again, if it's oversaturating the market, it's killing everybody. And it just makes sense to be on the same page. I would think at this point, everybody would want that. And somebody was asking about Warner Brothers. Well, Warner Brothers, they want your money. They want everybody's money. They're bleeding money. So they need everybody to be buying the licenses. Right. And so they're not going to turn people down. They might say you can't do this or this or this, which, Lord knows that they do that all the time. But I don't know. Maybe you're onto something.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's like we create like the collectibles Legion of Doom with like all the people that make statues. I don't know. But no, it's like I'm an open book. It's like sometimes it's to my deficit, but it would just be really cool if it was like. And of course, we're not going to all get together and show our line list for the next 3 years, but it would be like, hey, does anybody have a Riddler coming out in the next quarter? Raise your hand, and 3 people raise their hand, and it's like, well, let's go sidebar this and figure out how we can, because all we're doing is selling less because, like I said before we started the show,
But then it comes down to like who gets to make it. Because I look at like, for example, like, I don't know if it's within the license. I don't know if you could say or not. Like, do they tell the companies you can't make like Riddler this year because somebody else is making it? Because if you look at like this year, there was like so many Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman statues out of nowhere. It's like almost like everybody all of a sudden had the license made her. Yeah.
Yep.
And I think like that's been like it's really. I mean, I can't speak directly to it. All I can say is there are opportunities for them to say, you can't do, like, that's why, we submit like a drawing of what we want to do. We submit a list of what we want to do, because it's like, oh, so-and-so is making something really similar to that. So you can do that, but it'll be 2 years from now, or you can talk to them and negotiate, are they actually going to release that, et cetera, et cetera. But, I think, like I said before we started, I was like, if I'm being honest, and they're beautiful, beautiful pieces. Everybody's pieces, like I always say, and I've said it for decades, nobody wants to make a piece of crap, right? They're beautiful pieces. But when I saw the Prime One Trinity, the Alex Ross inspired pieces, it just felt like, oh my God, didn't I just see that 2 weeks ago? And then didn't I see it like 2 weeks before?
You did.
And it's really hard because, even for a company like Prime One, it's like, we're going to show this, and there's all this other stuff out there. So my goal is just to like bring some harmony to everybody. Like, let's just figure out like, what are we doing? Because, all you're doing is splitting the market up,
Yeah,
that's right. Jamie's asking about Batman. They paid for over a year ago. So again, that's the crazy thing about the statue collecting hobby is that, you know, it takes a while to get stuff in. And, you know, everybody, we've talked about the container issues, the shipping issues, and Chad just did earlier. I don't know if you were in here or not, Jamie, but there are 3 shipping containers on its way. So that's very
Batman,
good.
Batman isn't one of those for sure. Batman and He-Man life-size bust are definitely in one of those. But, you know, that's one thing that, you know, we could get into, you know, a couple people that we brought on board to really steer this boat in the opposite direction.
Yeah, let's talk about Eric.
Yeah, let's talk about Eric. So, you know, Eric, he's literally the for the first time ever, like the full on board head of customer service. He has been doing this for 10, 12 years. He's already like calming things down, and, you know, he's fantastic, but he's also going to help me with a couple other things. And one of them is like, how do we get the stuff here faster? How do we get it produced faster? And we've already like talked to a couple other companies and my factories, and like, how do you, like, before I put something on pre-order, how do we ensure, like, those are production samples behind you, Chris, that you have there. So like the minute we hit the button and I give them the PO, they're already cast for the most part. They can cast more if they have to, but the paint is sealed, everything is done. So we're already like 2 months, you know, ahead of the game. And that's
awesome.
something we have to do is before we put something on pre-order, it's got to be at the factory. It's got to be sampled already. And we, you know, which we'll get to in a little bit, you know, a month later, we're going to say, go do it. And we've already shaved, then you shave off like 3 months of work, because, you know, if they can start doing their castings, you know, when they, you know, 2 months before you give them a PO, you're so far ahead of the game.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And like
Yeah.
you said,
but no, Eric's
more,
a great addition. Eric's a great addition. We've got a really wonderful gal, Lauren, that we have running our social media. She's fantastic. So we're bringing this, we really, for the first time, I feel like we're bringing this team together for 2025 to, you know, help us sharpen things up. And it's kind of great because, you know, we've had little dips before. Every company's had little dips before where there's issues with shipping, issues with production. And, you know, somebody said the pendulum is going to swing one way all the time. It's going to swing back the other way all the time. It's going to go, the pendulum's never going to swing one way and stop. And something great about this year is, you know, last year we shipped a ton of stuff to people's homes. This year, not nearly as much, but that pendulum just swang back. And it's like, how do we get it to swing the opposite way? Because, you know, it's business. If it wasn't, you know, it wouldn't be business if it wasn't challenging, right?
Right.
So
Absolutely.
It's got to be, you know, but the thing that, you know, like I said about bringing this community together is, you know, everybody for the most part is really positive, is really patient. And I think the thing that, you know, I've learned is just the communication, like just letting someone know that you've been heard. We got your email, like it just diffuses like so much anxiety. Because I feel like, and this isn't just in the collectible community, but I do feel like everybody's waiting for companies to start going under, you know?
Well, and you know, I know you said there for a while, like you were the only person handling all this, and so like, you know, you are a small business,
head label maker.
That's right. That's right. And I don't know if everybody always realizes
head UPS package tracker.
That's right. So like you had many hats. And so like some people, like, you know, keyboard warriors will get on Facebook like, Chad hasn't responded. I emailed him 2 days ago. Like, you know, it's like, cut the guy some slack. He's doing everything himself and running other businesses. So it's like, so I'm really glad to hear that you brought on Eric. I think that's going to be a big help for sure in getting people, you know, the information they need at a more timely manner. I think that's a phenomenal thing. Obviously, like you said, he's worked for Sideshow and had that experience in their customer service. If anybody doesn't, he used to do like the size comparison. He was that guy that would do like, you know, in all the photos, which I thought was really cool. But anyway, I'm really excited for you guys that, you know, you're getting all your ducks in a row, which is only going to help the customers.
And we're going to like just start flooding people with stuff. But like, I get it. Like if I was sitting here and I was like, I don't understand you guys, like you're, you know, all over me about where your stuff is. I mean, I ordered 4 t-shirts in October, completely forgot about them until this morning, and I was like, where in the hell are those t-shirts? Like, where are they? And it was like, I don't know, $40 worth of t-shirts or something. But I'm like, it's one of those things where you get these like, symbols of like, oh my gosh, like this is exactly what my customers are going through. And when even the dumb t-shirts, like I have no idea how to track them, how to like figure out where they are. But it's one of those things that's $20-$40, times that by 10, right? Or more. And you forget about it. So yeah, but I get it. Like I totally get where everybody's coming from. Like and that's why we're really 2025, I think, is going to be a pivotal year for us to turn stuff around, and also release some really cool stuff. You guys, if you saw some of the stuff next year, it's going to blow your mind. It's nothing compared to this year.
Well, it sounds like there's going to be a lot of great things, a lot of good changes. Do you want to get into the next part? We got some policy changes coming up.
Yeah. Oh God. Okay. Yeah. Wait. Can my volume go out now? My mic.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Chad just froze. We can't connect to him anymore.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and I'm not talking to like a huge group of people. I will be honest. Like for my direct sales, sometimes it's as low as 68 people. Sometimes it's as high as 300 people. Usually around 120, 140. But the way the market has been going, and kind of going back to telling people what we're making, etc., is 2025. We're going to try 2 different things. One is like a timed, and this is so Sideshow Collectibles distributes my stuff. I sell directly on Tweeterhead.com, and we're going to do a timed release on Tweeterhead.com. So tomorrow is what's tomorrow's date?
21st.
21st. Okay. So the 21st, Mr. Freeze goes up, Batman goes up. The 21st of December, Mr. Freeze and Batman come off. So everything we release from now on is going to be a 30-day timed release. And to be, again, super transparent, I could show you the data that the first day of pre-sales is like 90%. Second day might be like some of the international customers that were asleep when it went up for pre-sale. The third day, 2 or 3, and then it flatlines for the most part. And so whenever, like you just said, who said that about bottleneck?
Oh,
somebody
Billy.
said about yep. So somebody was like, a month is too long. I'd give people 2 weeks, and I'm like, no, I think a month is fine. 30 days is perfect. But for me to really control my inventory and what I'm selling, and knowing what I can order from the factory, what they can start producing, we're going to do everything is going to just be a flat 30-day time to sale. So that is, but again, this is Tweeterhead.com. Sideshow is a different entity. They're different. So if you're still looking for it, you can probably go to Sideshow. Of course, some of the stuff we are going to sell are the exclusives, so it really is through us. But honestly, I don't think that's a big deal, because I mean, the first week is when all the sales come in. I mean, you saw Sorceress sold out in 3 hours. Batman Bust sold 275 pieces the first day, and since then just trickle. So what is that? Mondo, I'm sorry, I'm reading a comment. Mondo does 10-day timed POs. Yeah. So I think, we'll try 30 days. I mean, if I see like the last 2 weeks of the month, there's no sales, maybe we do the first, maybe we'll do 10 days, 20 days. I don't know, but we're going to try it. And then the biggest, yikes. The hardest part to talk about is, I've been in business 13 years, and this year alone, and we're not even to the end of the year yet, I've given back like $137,000 in refunds. And it's just people canceling their orders, which we have a cancellation policy, 100%. You can cancel because you burned your popcorn on the stove if you want. Like, it's really, there have been no real guidelines. And it's never been an issue except for this year, And I don't know why exactly, because I don't think the inventory of new products is as big as it has been in the past, which would normally generate people canceling something because another piece looks better than the one they ordered.
Mhm.
So I don't know exactly why. I don't know if it's the economy, etc. But so the big news for Tweeterhead.com only is starting tomorrow. The guy that ordered Mr. Freeze, if he wants to cancel, he can. But starting tomorrow, throughout 2025, we have got an all sales our final policy. And it's just something we have to do. You know, I can't give away, you know, $150,000 a year when things have been in production at the factory. And it's just a way of protecting my, you know, business. Also, it's me, you know, being super duper honest, just asking you really consider before you buy it if you want it or not. Because, you know, the comfort it's going to give me is that I don't have to wake up in the morning like, oh God, are there going to be like 8 or 9 cancellations this morning? Because it's just locked in. And, you know, it's nothing negative. It's not a punishment. It's just me asking the, you know, customers who want to order from me directly, just please help me ensure that we're going to produce and sell the stuff that, you know, we've taken orders for. And, you know, as a plan B, like I said, you can always order from Sideshow. But just strictly from, you know, because when I used to sell exclusively through Sideshow, and then I went back and I started doing a little bit of direct sales, and that was when I just saw it kind of turn on its side when, you know, we started direct selling and it was just like tons and tons and tons of cancellations. I mean, like some days there will be like 13 or 14 in one day.
Okay, so just to kind of recap, because I'm seeing some comments in the chat. Obviously, some people are not going to be happy. We knew that was going to happen. And some people like, you know, good luck with that news. You know, so people are going to be snarky, and that's okay. That's what happens when we get some news like this. But what I think that people don't always think about when you were talking to me about this is that you are a small business.
Yeah.
And you're taking hit after hit after hit. And again, customer service or your return policy, like you said, had been if anything, no matter what. If you sneezed wrong, you could cancel, whatever. And that has led such large hits that it's made you as a small business owner worry about being able to continue Tweeterhead. Because you can't keep taking those kind of hits. So
I wouldn't go so far as to say continue, because like we're not going anywhere and we're absolutely fine. But I think it's more of like we have to pivot, because you know, like next year if it's ×2 and it's $300,000, right? So I didn't want you to be so drastic that way, but no, I totally get what you're saying.
Like, I just know if I took that kind of hit, I would be done. Like I couldn't recover from that. You know, it's like, but I'm just saying, like, as a business, I would think you couldn't keep taking hit after hit after hit like that and continue to go at the rate you are. But like you said, Sideshow sells your items also. They are a much bigger company and can take that risk of cancellations, and they do all the time. So, and like Chad said earlier, I don't know if everybody caught that, but he said that when it comes to direct sales for him, it could be as low as 60, it could be as high as 300. So we're talking about a very small group of people that are ordering from Tweeterhead. And so again, if you are, like he's saying, if he's just asking, I think that if you are interested and you really want it, order from Tweeterhead. If you're thinking maybe you're not so sure, order from Sideshow. Am I leaving anything out there?
No, I think it's a great way to put it. And like, you know, and again, like, I don't want anybody to be pissed off at me. I'm not pissed off at them. I'm not pissed off at the people that have asked for cancellations and for refunds. But like I just said, like the impact, you know, it is impactful. And to imagine that it's not, you know, across any company, right? It impacts anything. So it's just something we had to do. And like, you know, it's just, you know, it's so hard to talk about because it's, you know, I'm just asking you, like, just really like think about like, hey, do I really want that Mr. Freeze? I do. I mean, now, okay, so, but the one thing is that if we're late, so this is where it gets a little tricky. If we are late, and it isn't a situation like a container strike that's 8 months, etc., or something that I can't control. And this is where the communication with Eric and the customers is going to become much more vital. If I tell you third quarter 2025 and there have been no container issues, no strikes, no port, whatevers, then we have to kind of look at that and look at, where does the burden of responsibility fall on me? And that's where we kind of are with some of the stuff that hasn't been delivered yet, right? So, and just to also say, this is everything that's shipping, everything that people have pre-ordered. This doesn't apply to that. It just applies to, those 100 Batman tomorrow, the 200 Mr. Freeze.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. It's like, it's really difficult for me. I mean, Chris, you and I have talked about it. I've talked to a bunch of you guys about it. Somebody said
it was not an easy decision. That's for sure.
No,
Yeah.
somebody said it's company suicide. Someone told me that like 20 minutes before I came on here, and it's but it's really hard. It's hard to maintain. It's hard to manage, and the volume is small. But like, we are a small company. But I hope you guys would understand. I hope people will realize that, like, I'm just asking you to please keep your commitment to the piece that you ordered. Like, I mean, that's kind of it.
Or go ahead, Matt. Then I want to get to some of these comments here.
Only the good ones.
No, Matt is muted, I think.
Oh.
No, I can't. He's I was gonna say. Well,
I am loving tonight, by the way.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's right. So I just want to go to some of these comments. Led says,
can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay. And just to clarify, Chad, they get the lowest price when they do direct order through tweeterhead.com, correct?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Yep. That's the fairest price. Yep.
Okay.
And you still get the $25 off if you pay in full. Like, nothing's changed, except, and there are circumstances, of course, that this is not iron fist here. There are circumstances, and we've had those in the past, where we'll consider everything, and I won't get into the details, but some people have asked to cancel it because their daughter broke up with her boyfriend and they bought a Batman for their boyfriend. And that's what really kind of motivated this, because I'm like, I can't really have my company, beholden to your daughter's boyfriend, right? Mm-hmm. And I know that's only one case, but I don't know. It got to a point where there were so many this year, and I think we're all experiencing. It's not just Tweeterhead, but I'm the only company I think that's come up with this yet. And like, it is risky. It's scary. I've had anxiety about this for days, but I feel like, for some customers, maybe this isn't affecting them as much, because they're like, I get it. I get that you can't take, the hit like crazy, Well, because then I'm also left with a bunch of stock that I have to find people to buy, after the fact.
Yep. Just wanted to get some of the comments here. Ledge said, but it's valid to have a non-refundable deposit. If money is that tight, you shouldn't be buying anything. Nerd Without Order says, hell yeah, I'm all for the move, Chad. Put your money where your mouth is, collectors. Buy the statue and resell if you need to. Don't buy shit if you don't have the disposable income. Lawrence Old Jr. says, I think it's a good policy. It will make people make sure they're 100% committed. If you aren't sure, Sideshow is an option. Statue Comic Sports says deposit is not refundable, or the whole price of the statue is not refundable if they buy it at a discount.
Everything. Like, when you hit purchase, you purchased it.
Okay. Will variants be announced in advance so we can spend wisely? He addressed that earlier, that yes, they are going to be announced at the same time.
Yeah, we will show you guys, if, like, I think besides Batman, the only variant really is our Motu stuff, which, they lend themselves to a variant. And this is something that David Igo came up with a couple of weeks ago. He's like, from now on, let's show the regular edition and the variant at the exact same time. Because also for me to produce it, it's so much easier, because then we just produce it at once.
Right.
But yeah, that part was David's idea. But yeah, this is all, and I will say, this is all a learning process, right? We're going to see how this goes. I mean, I might sell 5 Mr. Freezes tomorrow. Who knows? But yeah, it is kind of a scary situation.
Arthur Alvarez says Tweeterhead is doing a great job. I don't feel bad about these new policies. You have to do what you have to do to keep a successful business. Sorry, Matt, I have to keep muting you because you have echo now. I'm going to get to the super chat here in just a second. Knight says, if you're going to commit it, shouldn't bother you at all. If you're all over the place, then good luck. I think the policy is fine if the marketing and consistent with the final product and quality is acceptable. I was going to say, I've never had a bad Tweeterhead product. They're all fantastic.
Great.
Arkham says, I assume delays have led a lot, coupled with the inaccuracy of dates on the website. It gets people worried who have a lot of money down. And again, we've talked about sometimes the delays. I mean, like you said, you want stuff to come out yesterday. You don't want there to be delays. You don't want there, but sometimes you are beholden to either the factory or the shipping or the containers. Again, it's been kind of nonstop since COVID, really. You know,
but also, I mean, but a lot of that does fall on my shoulders. So, like, you know, to give respect to him and what he said, he's 100% correct. When you do a payment plan for $1,000 item and your final payment is paid and you've got 4 more months to wait or 5 more months, and that's where 100% guilty of communication issues. And that's where Eric will be on top of this, communicating with everybody. But I get it. Like, hey, I'm bummed out about 4 t-shirts.
That's right. That's right.
I'm not sure if it was a comment I just heard or I don't know, it just came to me. So now what's going to happen with refunds? Like, what if people are like, well, I'll just refund it when it comes out if I want my money back?
What do you mean?
I mean, obviously they would have to pay for the return shipping. If you're not offering their money back now, that once they receive it, says, well, I just want a refund and I'm sending it back to you. Just curious if you thought about that.
Yeah, I have. I mean, all you got to do is break Batman's ear off, right? So,
True, yeah.
What we've come down to with that is there aren't any refunds, and if you have a Batman that you ordered and he's got a broken ear, we'll give you an absolutely pristine replacement. But it's like I hope nobody would do that, right? But again, it's like if you don't like the quality, we will figure out a way. But like I said, this is uncharted territory, so we'll figure it out.
I do like what Edgar says here. He says, honestly, there's a lot of compulsive buyers in the statue hobby and fall for hype, me included. This policy will make them think twice. And it might, it's like, it's one of those things where sometimes you just have to figure out exactly what you want. And again, if you're not sure, maybe go through somebody else. Kevin is bringing up Tweeterhead's lack of response. And again, Chad has addressed that earlier with bringing on Eric. He wants to improve that aspect of Tweeterhead and make it, not just him doing all of this on his own. So I think that's going to improve, Kevin, at least in my opinion.
It's not me, by the way. Don't start sending me emails.
Yeah, not this Eric. Yeah, different Eric. Yeah, different. Yeah. He has red hair, and this one's bald. So he has like
should put a picture of him or something tonight.
That's right. That's right. Let's see. Houghton says seems reasonable. I have no issues with the all sales final. Jacob says, Chad, make it easy for yourself. No gray area. So there you go. Just cut and dry policy.
Agree with that.
I mean, it's just like, it's something that maybe we'll go back in a couple years or in a year, but it's never ever been like this. And maybe I could ask all you guys, let's just go around and give me your opinion of why you think it's like this. And I don't think it's a quality issue. I don't necessarily think it's a better Batman statue out there issue, but I think that where people actually pre-ordering has gone way down, the cancellations have gone so far up. I'm not sure exactly why, but I don't know if anybody has an opinion on that.
You may want to go.
Well, part of it is what we talked about before with multiple companies doing the same character. So, for example, Alex Ross, if you ordered the LBS pieces and then you saw the Prime 1 pieces and thought, oh my gosh, those are quarter scale, they would take up way less space and they're less money, then you might want to cancel your LBS orders. So it might be a problem of just availability of certain characters in multiple places for better prices.
We did a whole segment on last show for you, the Jeff Delaney dilemma.
Yeah, so I think that's part of it, and just the economy. I mean, it's not just you. I know I've talked to other companies or distributors who are having the same problem with massive cancellations.
See, I never realized like canceling would hurt a company. I always thought maybe it benefited them because now they're keeping that NRD and then still selling the product to somebody else. But I guess if a lot of people aren't buying, then
I think if the NRD was,
what if you just
what I
raise the NRD?
I mean,
You already
yeah,
have the mindset, but yeah.
yeah, it's like, but if the NRD on my Skeletorm Panther is $500, I mean, and you're going to potentially lose that. Like, I don't know if people are going to go for that, right? So, and again, then for Eric and what he's doing for me is it's like, again, like we're juggling all of this indecisiveness or people, maybe not wanting this, so yeah, I think like the NRD, that's been a point of contention with a couple people that I talked to, because they're like, you got to make it huge, make it like 75%, and I'm like, no one's going to go for that.
They would rather just have the statue, a replacement. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. But I hope this goes well. I know that we have a lot of amazing fans, amazing customers, amazing people that like Tweeterhead. I mean, like I said, this was probably the toughest time I've ever come on here in, as many times as I've been on, but it's just, and hopefully like maybe I would love it if other companies were like, hey, that's kind of bitching that they were, that they did that. Maybe we need to take the stance. But, if car companies do it, if clothing stores that sell $300 button-up shirts do it, if companies that make prints, my friend was just like, he buys vinyl all the time, and he's like, when you buy a vinyl, you can't, it's done. Like when you buy it, it's done.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but I think we're in that weird gray area where if it was the deliverables were immediate, it would be easier. The fact that you're waiting again 5, 6, 7 a year plus, and that's what I have to work on the most next year, is to get the timing to be really, really tight. But yeah, it's we'll see how things go, but
Chad, you are a far, far nicer man than I am, because if I own Tweeterhead and on the website, when you scroll down, when you're about to check out, and it says NRD, which stands, I think, right, for non-refundable deposit, you're not getting it back. Like, and if you can read, and it says non-refundable deposit, and you click buy now or process or whatever the button says, that's it. If you did a payment plan, and let's say you're 6 payments in and you have to cancel, the way Sideshow does it is you'll get back all 6 payments minus your non-refundable deposit. Prime One does it the same way. As someone who's been in this game for a long, long time, I do get the collectors that say, hey, I pre-ordered this 2 years ago. Where is it? It's not here. And I get that. And I've learned, and the way I've remedied that is I'm just not pre-ordering anything. I've been, and Jeff has too, we've been waiting on this LBS Iron Man, and it's been crickets. There was talk of it being canceled, and there were people who pre-ordered it the day it came out, and they probably were all over the place. Where is this going to happen? Am I losing my money or this and that? Now, finally, there's been, hey, QC photos. There's been boxed photos. And then, I talked to my retailer. How far off is this thing? Oh, it's shipping in 7 days. Okay, I'm going to pay for it now. And that's what I did. So if I have a 7-day window if it's shipping, and then that's how I do it, because I don't want to give my money to something and then, whenever 2 years later it's going to come out. But if I did, I would understand that this was not, I have never once, and I've canceled stuff, never once asked for a deposit back.
Yeah.
Well, we live in a society where people feel like the rules do not apply to them. I think we see that every single day, but they do.
They do.
And they do. And so it's like, this is, again, policy is policy. It is what it is. You can either buy or not buy. It is up to you at this point. You have the information put out in front of you guys. That's really all there is. Like, you can make a choice, just like everything else. Any other company you go to, they all have different policies. You make your choice at the end of the day.
And so to speak to that, I own a small business, and the clothing and mom and pop clothing, we used to always, we refunded everybody. It took one store to start saying, I'm only doing store credit. And then each person started going right behind saying, we're just doing store credit. And it's not that we're being mean or being greedy. It's just that we want you to be committed to what we're doing. And that's the same as Chad saying, I just want you to be committed to what I'm making for you as a collector. So I commend them for doing it.
Thanks. Yeah, this will be interesting. And not very many people ask for their NRD back. Like, that's not something, I'm not saying that people are like, give me all that back. Like, it's unfortunate because sometimes people will cancel a couple hours after they pre-order something, because we have kind of created this hype, right? This FOMO, if I don't get it, et cetera, et cetera. But, I think the thing that I have to address too, and that's something that Billy, you talked about a second ago, is in the past, if we took 500 pre-orders, we'd make 600 pieces because we knew we could move those after they came in, right? So those days are over. Those are dead and gone days. If I add 15 pieces to 20 pieces on top of a PO, that's it. So that's where, again, it's this double-edged sword, right? Because a lot of people are like, I'm just going to wait till it goes on sale. I'm going to wait till it gets discounted. Like, those days are over. My warehouse is empty. Everything we bring in, it's gone the day it comes in. So if you didn't get a merman, merman, actually, I take that back. We had 4 or 5 mermans that we had in the warehouse because people had canceled. But, Lori, people like, I'm just going to wait until it comes in to get it. It's like, please don't wait, but work with me to make this easy for both of us and figure out how we can restructure. Like, I really feel like we're at a pivotal restructuring moment in the history of this collectible industry. Like, I don't think we've been here before.
Yeah, we're definitely new territory.
Yeah, and we're in new territory with super low edition sizes. 250 is considered great, as opposed to the old days of 2,500. But we're not going anywhere. You guys aren't going anywhere. Pop culture is not going anywhere. But we just have to figure out how we're going to level the playing field. And that's one of the things that is super honest, that I'm 100%, swear on my kitty cat's life. I do not order more than 10 to 15 more of anything that is the final PO, because I just can't take the chance, right?
Really quick, this was a super chat from earlier, and I don't know what Seek, maybe, I'm not sure what that is, but 50 Seek. Any information on the future of 160C, assuming there is one, or is it bust only talk today?
No, there's definitely more. Darkseid's going to be shown in January. I told you guys Purple Catwoman will show you on Christmas if we can get that photo in time. I already talked about Deathstroke. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 DC statues that I can't talk about at the moment. Characters that you've never ever seen made ever before. Not redos, but brand news. No, DC is alive and well. It is, right now my end goal for the year is to play catch up. And I've done this before. I think I've talked about this before. I was at Comic-Con once, and I remember looking in the case, and it was a bunch of pre-order stuff. And I was like, that's all still at the factory. I haven't delivered it yet. Got to pull back, regroup, take a breath, stop putting stuff on pre-order, satisfy the customers. And that's the wave we're in now. Is like when these containers get here and people start getting He-Man, Batman, Elvira. I think Elvira's in this container coming in. Elvira, Skeletor and Panther, Superman bust, Gilman. That's kind of the beauty of this community that we're in. It's like once people start getting the stuff they ordered, the satisfaction comes back, and kind of the doubt comes back. But yeah. And kind of what I stand by is I know communication's been an issue, but I hope things like this, I hope the fact that everyone's got my phone number for the most part, I think. But I'm an open book. And if you I just, I love what I do. I never want to stop doing what I do. Next year is going to be a really exciting year for us. The Motu stuff, if you saw that, your head would explode. But it's just this was something on the business side, which I just had to make that decision and be like, look, the only way for me to not have a business person's anxiety and stress is to know that when I make a sale, like when that sale, like, with Joshua, when that shirt walks out the door, he doesn't have to worry about it walking back in,
Mhm.
Yep. And like we said, it is what it is, and people can do it with whatever they want to do with the information. They can do that going forward. And sometimes change hurts a little bit sometimes, and then we get used to it. So anyway, that's what that is. Dan, do you have some good news?
Yeah. Is there anything positive to talk
Yeah,
about?
Dan had some good news, I think.
I have some good news. What good news would that be?
I don't
Make
know.
something up.
I thought that's what you said on your message.
No, I don't have any good news.
I think he said I want to get that. I think he said I want to get the hell out of here immediately.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant you had positive news to
no
talk
good
about.
news. I have
No
zero.
good news.
No good news.
Well, the good news is that tomorrow Dan's room tour hits the channel, and no, I'm just kidding. No, actually it doesn't.
So I'm mad now.
Yeah, actually,
I'm mad now.
DWR's mad now, but this guy right here is going to be reviewed tomorrow on the channel. I'm going to have them side by side. Also, I'm going to be doing reviews on the Batmans back here as well. Stanley says, Dan, give us hope.
There is definitely hope.
There's hope.
I am back.
236 people.
The community doesn't. Yeah, thanks everybody for joining us for a really interesting conversation, actually. But I can tell you that I've been traveling for 3 weeks. Literally, my wife and I have been traveling for 3 weeks. I am home, and that room tour is happening, hell or high water. So it is coming.
That is awesome. Well, that'll be like a little Christmas miracle for all of us, and that'll be just wrap it up with a little bow on top of it. It'll be a Christmas little treat. Yeah, that's right. We'll plan on that for December. If it happens, we'll plan on December. Yeah, that's right. Again, Mr. Freeze, guys, tomorrow I'm gonna stay up late and get this thing filmed and edited and all in the 4K glory for you guys. And again, I just want to thank Chad. Like, who else comes on a channel like this?
Do we know what time tomorrow? Oh, sorry. I thought you were done.
9 a.m.
9 a.m. Okay.
Ooh, what's that, Chad?
So I'm going to try to hold her together, but this is the, I think I showed you guys the retro Catwoman, but this is the long-haired version.
Ooh, I love the long hair.
Nice.
Oh, whoopsie, I'm going the wrong way.
Very cool.
Boy,
Yes.
stand her up.
She is beautiful.
I'll
Yeah, I
take-
love that portrait too.
And the hair is fantastic.
It is.
Vengeance, that would be 9 a.m. Pacific.
Yeah, 9 a.m.
9 a.m. Yep. So anyway, again, definitely check out tweeterhead.com. And again, I just want to thank you for coming on and being so forthcoming. Like, there's a lot of companies that are very quiet with the way they respond to the community. Some are better than others, but I feel like you put yourself out there more than anybody, and you're real honest, and you're real with all of us. I think, especially, knowing you for so long, you always want to make things right, and it's just like, I know sometimes things don't always go as smoothly as you had hoped, but like, at the end of the day, you're a collector, you understand, you're a business owner. So there's a lot of wheels in motion, but I really appreciate all that you've done for this channel, and also all that you do for the community. Cause again, that's all people really want, is just communication, whether it's good or bad. There's going to be a delay, whatever, just let us know. Like, that's the thing, is just, and you do such a great job of that, I think.
I don't think I do that great of a job at it, but we're getting better. We're improving, right? That's all you can hope for, is getting better. But no, it's, I've said this a million times, the community you guys have built, the outreach, the people that are watching, the people that are involved in, like, for me, I will go to sleep better tonight than I did last night, because, it's, just, telling your truth, right? Being like, it would be difficult to survive if things multiply next year, the following year. And it's a great test to see what happens. And so, I already feel like I can already feel the support. So like, I thought I was going to be feeling dire after I got off of this thing, but I can actually feel like the positivity coming from it. And, like I said, just, Chris and I talked about this a little bit. I don't know any other kind of industry. I think that there's like Amazon kind of has created this really easy to return things, and just buy it, cancel it before you get it, hate it, don't like it, return it. It's just such an easy thing, and so that's why I don't blame anybody. It's just something that culturally we're so used to. But for a little company like me, it's like those hits keep coming. So at some point we got to like pivot a little bit.
Sure.
Is he playing with Mr. Freeze? Does he think we're off the air?
Somebody keeps asking. They're like, please hold up Mr. Freeze. Now, the problem is this is a prototype and it's all like put together. Like it's not final.
It's making me nervous.
I know. So I'm just going to hold it up right here, guys. That's as close as you're going to get. And then again, 4K review tomorrow, guys. 4K. Promise.
But yeah, thank all of you guys for your support. It means so much. And thank you for the honesty too. I mean, my buddy that told me 20 minutes before this, it was company suicide. I mean, again, there's nothing like honesty. So I appreciate it. I appreciate the good stuff and the bad stuff. But it's like I remember the last time I was on here, somebody was like, "Oh, can we start to talk about your shitty customer service?" So I'm like, "Yeah, let's talk about it." Let's not get, like I said, just find the worst comment you have and let's talk about that one. Because sometimes those are the most important, right?
I think that again, I'm always continue to be amazed by this community and how positive in general it is. There's a lot of really good comments tonight. Some were, pretty brutally honest. And again, I thank you for addressing those. Again, whether it's good or bad, it's just like you said, speak your truth. We are where we are, and that's just it. I mean, do we all wish that we could go back 5 or 6 years in the statue collecting community? Yeah. I think everybody here does. The companies were happier, prices were better. Like it just, it just is what it is. But in reality, we're going into 2025, and so hopefully things get better. We're always optimistic, but it is what it is, and so companies have to do what they have to do right now. And again, you're a good man, Chad. We appreciate you. Thanks, Chad. You coming on is great. I believe you are listening. Love your statues and happy to keep supporting you. I'll keep buying, especially the bus, and I'll probably never ask for a refund. Just respond to me trying to contact you. And again, I feel like they are working on that. Embrace the hate. Thanks, Chad, for being on the show.
Yeah, no, hey, it's we gotta, we have to, like I said, like with the other companies, right? Supporting each other as a community. We have to support each other. We have to understand that, things are late sometimes, understand that, things like, it's just like, this is a great group of people. And like, it's kind of like the old days, right? Whenever so I'm 53 and whenever, earlier than 20, like going into comic book shops and meeting people, like it wasn't easy to meet people that were like-minded, right? It wasn't easy to talk to people in 1981 about how you liked action figures or you liked comic books or you liked, there weren't any statues back then. And so it's one of those things that like to feel like there's this group where, there's safety to talk about all the nerdy stuff you like and all the stuff that you're passionate about, no judgment. And, for me to be able to come in and just, open up, Pandora's box, it makes me feel so much better,
Well, and that's I would say that's the best part of this hobby is like the art is amazing, the statues are amazing, but really it's the community and the fact that we get to hang out and talk about all this fun stuff that we enjoy. So again, I can't thank you guys enough. Anything else you want to ask Chad or say to Chad before we wrap up for tonight?
No, looking forward to the PO tomorrow.
Yeah.
Pre-order tomorrow, guys. Again at tweeterhead.com. Also, the one version is going to be available at Sideshow also. And so if you're interested in that, and again, Chad, I'm really excited for all this stuff. Thanks for coming on and being so brutally honest with us, and looking forward to talking with you tomorrow night.
Yep. And that's a tape thing, right? That's
live. Tape. Yeah, we're taping that. Yeah. Yep. They're taping.
I just got comfortable, and now you freaked me out again. That's
right. To
be honest, I totally forgot about it.
That's right.
But I totally forgot about. But yeah, but tomorrow night, then Chris, I expect a Christmas tree up in the background.
Oh my God! I was gonna say, Eric, can you ship that to me real quick? Anyway, I want to thank everybody for watching tonight. We had a really great audience this evening, and again, thanks Chad for coming on. Thanks to all the gentlemen for being here tonight. I really appreciate all the questions in the chat, and if I didn't get to you guys, I am sorry. But again, really appreciate everything. We'll see you in a couple weeks. Again, happy Thanksgiving to everybody. If you're traveling, be safe. And again, just continue to be good to yourself and each other out there. Love you guys. See you all in the back cave. Good night, everybody.
Bye.
See you guys.
Thanks for watching.
Take care.
Hey, guys.